Good morning, all. Uh, Maybe it's a long time. I know all of the speakers before me. Each one needs hours to talk about that. Each topic needs an hour. And before I go to my presentation, I would add to what Wujdan started. A friend of mine in Gaza told me, the worst in Gaza is not to be killed. The worst is to survive. Describing life in Gaza. Some of the issues that Wujdan maybe was shy to talk about. Can you imagine in the schools where displaced are living, when you stand in a queue for 150 people to go to the toilet without water? You have to wait 3 hours, your turn to enter to a toilet that another 100 people used with no water. When some water is available, they allow every 10 people, 15 people to use the Niagara once to save water. Can you imagine a mother who gave birth and she has no diapers for herself or for her baby? She has no milk to feed him, and because of the malnutrition, she doesn't give milk. Can you imagine the newborns who were born and died before they were registered or get their birth certificates? I want to talk about another issue. Each one can talk 4 hours about all that. My friend told me, I eat once every other day not to go to the toilet. Not to go to the toilet. Every 2 days, he eats 1 meal just to stay alive, just not to leave his family alone. Anyway, talking about the West Bank, do you want me to talk in English or Arabic? I prepared in English, so it's up to you.
We have a translator here. I think it's like as you like. Okay. You can talk in English or you can talk in Arabic.
Okay. I want to talk about what's going on in Jerusalem and the West Bank. History didn't start on the 7th of October. The fundamental problem in the Middle East is that Israel doesn't recognize the Palestinians as equal human beings. They voted against the 2 states. They don't want 1 state. They don't recognize that Palestinians are equal human beings entitled the right of self-determination and have the right of everyone in this part, in any part of the world. Just to how Israel used the 7th of October, this is Palestine. You see the West Bank and Gaza are separated. West Bank and Gaza both together equals 5,500 square kilometers out of 27,000 kilometers. When Palestinians accepted a compromise to establish a Palestinian state in the West Bank and Gaza, it was a historical compromise. Many Palestinians opposed because it's unfair to have a state on 22% of historic Palestine. But Israel, even the 22% of historic Palestine, they divided into A, B, and C, where C consists 61% of the occupied territory. This is the map of the West Bank, where you can see the brown area is the area that is classified as A area, and the light yellow is area B. All the area in blue are Palestinian land under settlements jurisdiction, where 144 settlements that legalized by the Israeli government and 13 settlements blocks in East Jerusalem, added to them 145 what's called outposts. What does it mean to an outpost? An outpost is a settler is driving in the West Bank. Oh, that's a nice hill. There is a lots of trees. I like to live there. He brings a caravan, and then he will get electricity, water, and the soldiers will come and establish a point, to protect him. And then another caravan, another 10 caravans, and then it will be a settlement. Not only this, the remaining 39% of the West Bank that should be under the Palestinian control are divided like this. This is not the Maldives islands. These are 372 islands where Palestinians live. Each one of them is like a ghetto because it's divided by checkposts, 793 checkposts separating the cities from each other, the city from the surrounding villages, the villages from each other. Some villages, they have a gate. They close the gate at 7 p.m. and open it the second day. And if you have an emergency, if someone needs an emergency from that village, there is no one to open the gate. That's why many Palestinian pregnant women, when it's the month where they have to give birth, they leave the area to live outside of it because they don't know what might happen if they want to give delivery during the night. This is another map showing different types of the checkposts. We cannot, maybe I keep a copy that might be distributed for any of you who likes to get it, to look to it thoroughly. This is the segregated road systems. When the ICJ said that there is ethnic segregation in Palestine. Look at this map. We have 3 colors of roads. The yellow roads that are Israelis only roads. The white roads are Palestinian only roads. The red roads are in the heart of the West Bank, but they are prohibited for Palestinians. You might be shot if you enter or drive on one of those roads. Here is one of 13 similar checkposts if you want to enter to Jerusalem. Every day and night. Not at night, because it is usually from 5 a.m. till 10 p.m. These are different types of pictures showing the, if you look at the upper left, in the upper left, this picture is in Hebron, H2. This is Shari' al-Shuhada. It's called Shari' al-Shuhada in Hebron. The Palestinians are not allowed to walk in that street. On the opposite side, there is a school called Qurtuba School. The students and the teachers in the school are allowed to use the side road. If you walk in the middle of the street to be killed, because even if it's empty, even if there is no movement for the settlers. And there, the red sign it's in front of the entrance of each Palestinian community, banning Israelis to enter. But who are the Israelis that are banned to enter? If they are journalists or a solidarity group or from a human rights group. But if a settler is going to kill, he is allowed. A soldier who is going to arrest is allowed. And here, this is a typical checkpost at all the entrances between the West Bank and other parts of historic Palestine, mostly for workers who used to work daily in Israel. This situation was described by an Israeli called Abraham Shalom. Abraham Shalom was the head of the Israeli Shabak, the general security in Israel. He knows the situation well. He is not a peacemaker. He is not leftist. He is part of the institute in Israel. He describes what's going on at the checkpost, and I want to read literally. We are gradually turning into professional occupiers, a result of our notorious practices that have become, in the end, ingrained in our character. And this is what terrifies me. As you man the checkpoint, if a Palestinian loses his patience at waiting and his emotions explode, you pistol whip him. This is no anomaly, but a common occurrence. Facing such daily indignities, Palestinians have become conditioned to feel that you are nothing, and you have to wait passively. For opening your mouth is inevitably met with a beating, as can remaining silent, a reality in which you are damned if you do, and you are damned if you don't. We are no different than our own oppressors in the 1930s. This is how the daily humiliation of Palestinians. And when Palestinians are exploded because of this humiliation, they will become the terrorists. They become a terrorist. It is very difficult for anyone to live this daily, on daily basis, this humiliation. And even can talk about peace, not to live peace. That's not peace. Peace without justice, peace without dignity, peace without rights, peace without knowing that you are equal human being. The strange thing is that there is struggle. Strange thing is people to live under a situation and don't struggle, don't fight for their freedom. I will ask anyone in this world, if you are treated like this, what will you do? If someone can come to your home and kick you out of your home, can take your land. Now it is olive season. Each olive season, they make it bloody. They mix the olive oil with blood of the farmers. Last year, 20% of the harvest in Palestine was not harvested because settlers prevented Palestinian farmers to pick their olives. They repeated that for the second year. They are the enemies of the olive tree. They hate the olive tree because it is a symbol for Palestine. Because still, the oldest olive tree is in Palestine. And the best olive oil is that coming from Palestine. I'm not fanatic. I'm from a farmer's family. Each season I go to pick olives. The last weekend on Friday and Saturday I went to pick olives, and it means a lot for the Palestinians. So they want to undermine the morale of Palestinians. If that's your pride, we will deprive you of this pride, even to this pride of your olive oil. Your tree, the Palestinian farmer raises the olive tree like he raises his son or daughter. Sometimes they give that tree a name. It has a history. He knows every branch of the olive tree. That's why they show all this cruelty against olive trees. That's history. Now, all what I said is that all that was before the 7th of October. But after the 7th of October and with the emergency situation that the Israeli government declared, they doubled everything. And the one who made it very clear is Bezalel Smotrich, who is 2 ministers in the government. He is the finance minister, and he is a finance in the Ministry of Defense responsible for life in the West Bank. He said that Palestinians have one of 3 options: to accept Jewish supremacy and to live without rights, or to be killed or kicked. Killed or kicked. And that's what they are doing in reality. And it's not only Smotrich. Smotrich, he is the only, maybe one of the few clear, but others, they name it different names. But they don't know the Palestinians. And I don't want to talk more, because this will be distributed for you, because there are other things on legal here, like the settlers' attacks. Since the 7th of October, 23 Palestinians were killed by Israeli civilian settlers who were driving on the same roads, and no single settler was investigated even. So the Palestinian life is free of charge. And what they offer us is that they are turning us gradually into a kind of like ancient Rome. In ancient Rome, where the status of the masters and the status of the slaves. The master can kill the slave, can torture the slave, can rape, can confiscate their properties without indictment. And that's what they are doing. Ben Gvir distributed 100,000 weapons to Israeli civilians. And in the media, in the Israeli official TV, he said, we distributed that weapons to be used. And they are using them, and in partnership with the army. So what Smotrich said, Netanyahu offered in the United Nations, removed any Palestinian presence on the map. And now they are waiting Trump, because he said, oh, Israel is a tiny place. We should look for ways to expand it. So they are waiting. In his first presidency, he gifted them Jerusalem and the Golan Heights. I don't know what he might give them now. Here, this is the growth of settlement expansion in the West Bank in the last 13 years, since 2012. I don't want to go into the details. Here are the actual construction in the settlements. Here is the numbers of outposts in the last 15 years. Here is I will stop by this map, because it's very important. You see here on the top and on the bottom, there are 2 green areas. These are 2 settlements. And in the middle, Israeli settlement. In the middle, there is a Bedouin Palestinian community called Fasail. If you look at the right side of the map, or this is an aerial photo, that's Road 90. It starts from the Dead Sea till Tiberias. The Palestinians are not allowed to cross this road. So the land is confiscated, and it's the same. On the right and on the left, it's the same land. But the Palestinians there, they don't have water. Even drinking water, they don't have. That's why it appears like a desert. And there you see, like, it's a heaven, all green. And not only this, they find that the Palestinians living in Fasil are more than their need for cheap labor in that land that was confiscated from them. All the red dots are small families that they have eviction orders because they want to keep the number of Palestinians just to meet their need for cheap labor. That's why when we mostly any vegetables or flowers, Europe import from Israel during December, January, and February. It is mostly likely to come from places like this. It is planted in stolen land, irrigated by stolen water, and produced by slavery, cheap labor. That's why it is a crime, and dealing and having trade with crime and criminals, it's the same like getting rich when you trade with heroin. So I want to stop here, but I want to end with something. With all this, we Palestinians are standing up since the Balfour Declaration in 1917. It's 107 years. And when some sociologists in Palestine discuss that, how could the Palestinians continue to stand up like this? Many of them believed that the deep commitment of Palestinians towards their dignity is the most important factor that forced them to keep their resilience. I don't want to give any examples, but with all the tragedies in Palestine during the Nakba, where 60% of the population were kicked out of Palestine, there is no single Palestinian who sold a child or a girl for an oil sheikh in any of the Arab countries. And that was described by, there is an Israeli historian, he's called Shlomo Kedar. He's not pro-Palestinian, he is not a peace activist. He said on Israeli TV, he said, we don't know Palestinians well. Most of the Israelis don't know Palestinians well. The Palestinians have a word, it's called sabr. Sabr is patience. It's known as a word in many languages. But in the Palestinian history and in the Palestinian meaning, sabr is when you face injustice, when you face oppression, and it doesn't mean to give up. It means to postpone your struggle till the suitable time and when it's appropriate. He said, you see in Gaza that you bomb a building. All of the family might be killed under the rubble. And you have one child who survived. They take the child, maybe his arm is amputated and his leg is amputated and his another hand with 3 fingers amputated. He has 2 fingers only. He will use that 2 fingers to give this sign, so that we are not afraid of the future. We are 7.25 million Palestinians between the river and the sea. We will not disappear. They cannot. They killed so far 50,000, 60,000. They can kill another 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, but they cannot kill 700.25 million Palestinians. And we will not leave our country regardless of the price, because we experience what does it mean to be a refugee in any part of the world. We will not compromise our dignity. Never, ever again to be refugees in any part of the world. Thank you.